All right, thanks for showing up. I'm shooting a video for the YouTube channel, and it's for Dear Credibility Expert. If you went to youtube.com/credibilitynation, it is a whole series rerun where I answer a question or two from the audience, and I answer it in 10 minutes or less. And there's over 50 questions and answers, and it's really spectacular. Depending on how this goes, I might have a little bit of content afterwards for you. When you hear something interesting, put it in the comments. Give me some feedback. Feel free to ask me a question that you might have. And I'm looking forward to answering. Today's question is based on the holidays when people are focusing on being good to others. A very interesting question came in on servant leadership. So let me actually ask that. Thanks again for staying tuned. Once again, give us some feedback. Give me some thoughts. Feel free to share with your friends and others who would find this type of content interesting. And thanks so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Today's question that came in is really powerful. Based on the holidays, when we're thinking about being good for others, one of the things that people talk about in business, certainly something that I talk a lot about, say that 5 times fast, in business, is being a servant leader. It's one of the qualities, one of the core values of being credible, is being a servant leader. And so the question that came in is, Mitchell, all last year was a servant leader and I'm burning out. I can't do it anymore. What am I supposed to do? It's a great question. And what I want to say is something really important. This is something very important to think about. Being a servant leader doesn't mean that you don't serve yourself first. Being a servant leader doesn't mean that everybody comes first and you come second. Just like for me, the way I think about it is you have to be credible internally before you could be credible externally. In terms of being able to be of service to others, you have to have at least serve yourself in such a way where you have some of the foundation levels in place. You have whatever the right spiritual foundation is for you, whatever the right financial foundation is for you. And then going out and being of service, being someone who is really paying it forward to others, is a great way to generate respect, to give good value in the world, to be able to create good karma around you. And I'm a big fan of focusing on the other person that I'm speaking with, focusing on giving value to those in the room. And, for those who really are big servant leaders, sometimes, it doesn't always come back. And as long as you don't expect it to come back, that's good. What's interesting, though, is if you don't spend the time to serve yourself first, that you're not in good health, in good shape, you're not eating well, you're not financially well, you're not spiritually well, you don't have the foundations of life in place first, it becomes, and by the way, those foundations are different for different people, right? There's some people who need more than less, and many of us need less than what we expect because the world is about more, and particularly America is about more is better, and that's not the case. Certainly not always the case. And so what's interesting is focusing on you, putting the foundational elements in place so that you're comfortable. You're comfortable in all the ways that make sense. Then when you go out and you are that servant leader, when you go out and you do support others, when you go out and you really are paying it forward, sometimes all that needs to come back is the smiles, the thank you, is the, oh my God, that's amazing. And if you've taken care of yourself first, then what happens? You start thinking about how can you be of service to others and how can you monetize that in such a way so you could support yourself on an ongoing basis going forward. And so, ongoing basis going forward. I'm not sure that was the best way to say that, but hey, we'll just keep that in here. So what's really fascinating to me is the simplicity of, yes, you can be, and I believe in order to be credible, you should be a servant leader. You should be of service to others. That says, serve yourself and find ways that you're creating a good foundational life for you on the areas that are important to you. If family is important, you need enough time to have available for family while you're making money and serving others. And so making sure you look at what's important to you. How many hours do you have for what you call work and what you call play and what you call family? And how do you want to allocate those hours? And are you spending the right time in the right locations? And are you basically building all the foundational elements that are necessary so that when you are of service and you're getting value and you're seeing people grow and become something significantly better, are you getting the returns both spiritually and you've figured out ways to make sure that comes in financially as well? So yes, to be credible, you need to be a servant leader. To be a servant leader does not mean that you serve without receiving. And so set up a structure, set up a system where you serve yourself first. And as you're serving others, you are compensated in the way that makes sense for you, that works for your model, for your system, that works in such a way that you don't have to reach the end of the year and ask a question to the global credibility expert. Hey, I've been serving too much and I need to serve myself. What do I do? I'm going to say, make sure you serve yourself first. And then it makes it that much easier, that much safer in terms of the environment you've created for yourself to serve others. So if I'm summarizing, I think I just did. Be a servant leader, serve yourself, and as you're serving others, you're doing it with the fact that you've put the infrastructure in place for you to be comfortable in the areas that are important in your life. Thanks so much for paying attention. Thanks so much for joining us. This is now the time in which it's important to spread some cred dust. Click on the like button, share with your friends, write down the aha moments that are relevant to you, and we'll see you at the next episode of Dear Credibility Expert. Take care, everyone. Bye now. That was interesting. Certainly not 10 minutes. I don't script these. I give a little bit of thought and then I go forward. I'm pretty comfortable with this. I think at some point in time we need to document. I have different models in place for how can one serve themselves. What are the areas, the foundational areas that need to be serviced, and that's probably worth at some point in time having somebody ask the question or just feeding it in myself. I'll put this up to you. It's an opportunity for you at this stage. Ask more questions. Let me know what you think. Tell me what's valuable for you, and share this episode. I'm looking forward to getting feedback. Thanks so much. Take care.